Jaden. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to my channel. Super hot today in LA. It's like, I can't believe it's like March and it feels like the middle of summer. On today's video, I wanted to go more in depth because I just get so many questions and comments on this about the internal trembling and the internal vibration symptom that seems to be very, very troubling for most of us, myself included, when I was going through it during my adrenal fatigue and health crash journey. I get lots and lots of questions on this, and so it's easier these days for me to just make videos so that I can answer everybody at the same time, because it's so hard to get to like every single comment or email or even the comments in my Facebook group. And speaking of that, if you haven't checked that out, you can join. It's just Health Crash Recovery. That's my Facebook group on this subject about my recovery, and there's like so many people in there who are sharing their own experiences as well. But I know there's a lot of interest in this symptom. Just brief little like refresher overview. I am like more than a year and a half fully recovered now. I spent like 2 years, 18 months to 2 years recovering from this thing, a major health issue that happened to me that had to do with chronic stress, hormones imbalance, and just burnout. And it had a lot of symptoms that mirrored anxiety, panic attacks, and all that. Check out my other videos. But there is a very specific symptom that seems to really strike fear in people, myself, like I said, myself included. And that is the internal vibration, like in inner trembling sensations. So very much like the external like muscle twitches and like kind of shaking feeling you get when your hormones are messed up, when your body's run down from chronic stress and you have anxiety disorder, or the anxiety disorder is caused by the imbalance in hormones, especially adrenaline and cortisol. You have these symptoms, just like anxiety disorder people and panic disorder people have. It's these like shaking. It varies from like major shakes, sometimes like big muscle jerks, sometimes like tiny shakes, and sometimes you can't even see it. You don't visually see a trembling or shaking, but like you can feel it inside. And it could be anywhere. Like it could be like you sometimes feel it in your head, behind your eyes, my tongue, in your stomach, just everywhere. And again, if you go down the route, oh, and by the way, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a nurse or a therapist. I've always got to say that. Please don't take my information and advice as health advice. I'm not qualified to be that. So please check in with your own doctor and medical professional before, taking on any health advice over the internet. So if you're in that like anxiety, like hypochondriac, like health anxiety state, you're going to Google, and the algorithm of Google is going to show you a lot of these like scary, deadly disease, which I did over and over again through my recovery. And it will just send you into more panic, which causes you to have more symptoms. Obviously, I went and checked with my doctor for, major heart problems, brain scans, all that stuff. I ruled out all the scary, deadly stuff, Parkinson's, MS, all that. I had fear of all that in the beginning. I went and got reassurance first. And then I had to work on getting off of that obsession with it. Because if you get your reassurance and you still continue to obsess, it's because you now have this fear, and it becomes this mental thing where you continue to see things leading towards a deathly illness. And you fear it, and then it triggers more fear, and then you get more symptoms, and so on and so on. So again, I'm not an expert on it, like a therapist, but I know what it's like because I went through it. And so when you Google internal trembling or vibration or twitches and whatever, it's going to show you all that scary stuff. And it's hard to calm down. I definitely went through it. Again, this video is all about me telling you what I went through. So maybe it will offer you some kind of comfort, reassurance, and relatability, because I know that I certainly needed a lot of that when I was going through this, because, and there wasn't any, because there weren't that many people, in fact, any at all, when I was going through it on YouTube talking about it or really sharing their experience. That's why I decided to start the channel. And it's just like, hard to describe. It's like you don't feel settled because you're constantly reminded of this like weird sensation you have. And yeah, there's at times I feel like, oh my God, Jaden, am I losing my mind? Like, and anxiety can do that to you. It makes you feel sort of insane, because it's so obsessive and like compulsive, you know? So it was tough. And you kind of have to throw in a towel and just, once you've gotten the important stuff ruled out, you have to train yourself to believe that you're okay. You have this health imbalance going on. It's caused because you worn your body down. So it's causing your systems to go out of whack, particularly your hormone systems, which regulates a lot of these anxious feelings in you. And you got to go day by day. I certainly had to. It is not easy. I know it's easy to constantly go back into the rabbit hole of, oh my God, what's happening to me? Like, am I going to be okay? And then you Google, and then you, whatever, you need to talk about it, or you think, oh my God, no, this really is XYZ. Like, oh, I'm like facing, whatever. Your obsessive brain will do that to you. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone through that and turned out okay. And in the very end, I turned out perfectly fine, fully recovered. And it's just a journey, guys. That's the best thing I can tell you. There's been like experiences where when I was going through it, I was so afraid to lay down or like quiet down, because when you quiet down and when you kind of and relax, that's when you really are aware of all these sensations in your body, and that vibration sensation, you're more aware of it. So then you feel it more, and then you're like, and I could just feel my heart skip. Like as soon as I feel that sensation, because of all the fears I had built around it, it would just be like this, like that's happening to me again. And that doesn't help, because then that just sets you into this like more anxiety, like I said, and it's that crazy loop. So how do you get out of the loop? You, at some point, will have to choose to be okay freaking out and just be with it instead of resisting it. Because the resistance towards that fear and like, what am I going to do? I got to get rid of this feeling. That is the kind of the what would be the perfect word to describe this? That's kind of like that little connector to making the loop go again. Because if you felt the fear, like the symptom comes up, you've already gotten checked out by the doctor. They tell you it's okay. It's just, stress, anxiety, hormone, dysregulation based. You just need to calm down, rest, and eventually with time you'll heal. In those moments, you just have to believe that. And when it happens, instead of changing your mind and changing your emotions into freak out mode again, you just have to say, okay, this is just what's happening. I've dealt with this so many times. I'm just going to sit through it, and I'm not going to have a reaction to it. And I'm not going to try to go look for help. I've already done this. In the end, I found that I was okay. And now it's just like a repeated pattern. So you just have to retrain yourself that when it happens, you don't jump on Google. You don't think of it as like a thing to fix right now. It's not a life or death thing. You have to train yourself. And with enough of that, then you stop feeding back into that loop, right? Because if the fear triggers you to get anxious, then the anxiety triggers you to have symptoms, and then the symptoms triggers you to be afraid, and that loop goes on. But now you have anxiety, you have symptoms, and now you are retraining yourself not to be afraid and be more calm. So then it doesn't go back into that loop. And you might still kind of struggle with it a little bit, but it'll be less and less and less. It takes effort. Man, I am not kidding you. I'm a very disciplined person, athlete, musician, and it took every ounce of me to discipline myself and my emotions to not go there when this would happen. But I am so happy that I was able to do this. And you can do it too. I promise you, if you just discipline yourself. It's just about being okay with it when it comes. And it takes time. And yeah, I could pretty much say every time I get a comment that's like, oh, you know that internal vibration thing, like I 100% relate and understand. And it's funny because I know in reverse, back then when I would be the one asking this question, or I would have these questions, I didn't have anybody to ask them, but on that side of being the person who is happening to, and you're asking, you always think like, no, I'm the only person who's experiencing this specific scary symptom, and it's some rare disease that I have that is gonna kill me. Like, I know that mindset, okay? And that wasn't the case for me. And it wasn't the case for a lot of people now that I've talked to a lot of people who have healed from this. They go through that same path. So yeah, I hope this brings you some comfort and like relief. Again, check in with your doctor always. I don't replace them, but I do hope I can bring you a peace of mind sometimes when you've gotten checked out by your doctor and you know, like deep down you know it's just your obsession, but yet you can't jump off that obsessive horse. I hope these videos brings you that kind of, you know, like pat on the back, like you can do this, you know, because I certainly had to do it, and I have gone through it, and I know the struggle, and I really hope that you will find your recovery soon. Hope you enjoyed my video. I will continue to make these depending on what questions I get, and then that will dictate the topic I'll do. So definitely let me know in the comments, and I do read all the comments. I might not have time to like go respond to every single one, but I do read them all, so I know what people are talking about and looking for. Give me a like on my videos. One, that helps with me building my community, because I would like these videos to go out more and more to help other people who are struggling with this. And also, it tells me like, oh, what videos are getting a lot of likes. I know what I should focus on, what content I should focus on. Share my videos if you think somebody might benefit from knowing this information. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Again, help me build my community. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.